How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. Monster Hunters, Monster Hunties, Dugs, and Digettes. We are fighting Barufaruku, the flagship monster of this game, also known as Valfalk, much easier to say. Also known as the Jet Dragon, but better known as American Airlines. Yes, that's the nickname I'm giving this monster. His nickname is now American Airlines. So if you hear me refer to anything as American Airlines, I'm referring to this monster. Why American Airlines? Because I don't know. It was the first thing that popped in my head. Anyway. So we're going to be fighting American Airlines today. Very, decent, aircraft carrier. Usually, I was normally a United kind of guy up until. Anyway, let's get into the real nitty-gritty about this guy. Okay, first let me say this: this guy is the most original monster to ever been conceived in Monster Hunter to date. Okay, I've been playing Monster Hunter for a long time, guys, and not even the Legiacrus monster, a monster who was, made his home underwater when they introduce him in Try, where they also introduce underwater battles. I still don't feel as if he is as original as this guy, but let me break down what he can do. First, let's just talk about his attacks, because he has a lot of them, guys. Like I said, he's the most original, so almost none of his attacks, or anything for that matter, stems from anyone else. I say the only thing that really does kind of get shared with someone is his physiology, looking similar to that of a Gormagala to the untrained eye, simply because his wings that he has doesn't necessarily double his additional appendages like arms, but he can actually use those wings to do attacks that you would normally think that someone with arms would do. Like, he'll slap you with the wings, but he'll just slap you with the wing. It's just a wing. Anyway, let's talk about his attacks. Like I said before, he has a ton of them, guys. He has a ton of them. He has what I like to call the charge shot, where in which he will charge energy from the jet turbines. I'm going to call them the jet turbines in his wings. He can actually shoot them at the ground. He can shoot them at the ground and then shoot them at you, or he can do a jump back fadeaway attack and just shoot them at the ground. He can also do what I like to call the rocket flip, is where he actually used the thrusters, or their jet boosts, whatever you call them, the thrusters in his wings, to do a somersault and actually have the energy that he used to do that to damage you. The weird hitting attack. I mean, I don't know if I get hit with it in this particular hunt right here, but it's a pretty interesting attack to say the least. Excuse me. He also has a punch. I call it a punch. It's not really a punch. He'll just thrust his wings at you, like almost like a punch. Though he can do this once. He can do this twice. He can do this once and then do a spinning attack. Now, the spinning attack is not with his tail. The spinning attack is with his wing. And the coolest thing about the spinning attack is that it actually hits from behind. It's not like a spinning attack right there. He will actually move to a different position and then do the spinning attack. So for people who like to block like immediately after they get hit with an attack, he will actually jump to the side of you, do the spinning attack, and hit you from behind. It gets me every single time. It's a very crafty attack, to say the least. He has a ground pound that is very similar to the Gormagala. You know how Gormagala will just throw his hands, well, throw his wings down, I guess you could say. His wing hands down. And then like a little, like, you know what I'm talking about. He'll throw his hands down, boom. He'll do the same thing, but he only do it like once. He doesn't do it once, twice, 3 times like Gormagala would. He can also do this with a flip. He will do the flip that is similar to the rocket flip that I was talking about, and then just do the ground pound. He also has what I'm gonna call quick attack, or extreme speed, if you will, is where he charges a lot of energy in his jet boosters or whatever, and he'll lunge at you like really quickly, like pew, shoot across the screen. He can do this once, pew, he can do this twice, he can come back with it, pew. He can do it once and then spin. He can cancel that particular attack out of a lot of things. It's one of the coolest attacks that he actually does have. Now, speaking of the coolest attack that he has, however, we're looking at the meteor attack. That's correct. That's when he will shoot off into the sky. Like, I mean, this guy's amazing. He'll shoot off into the sky. I have deduced this: if you're looking for him when he's doing this, odds are you're gonna get hit. I haven't been able to make this a concrete fact, but every time I look in the sky to see him, make his rounds in the air, I get hit. But if you do look in the sky, you'll see a red streak flying around the area and then like slamming down to the earth. I mean, like really hard, boom. And when he does that, not only does it do a serious amount of damage, has a wide, area of effect, but the music, the actual in-game battle music, will mute a little bit, and then you'll hear like a deafening ring in your ear, which is akin to, if you hear something really, really loud. You know, if you hear like an explosion goes off, a really loud explosion and you're nearby, your ears will start ringing. It's the same effect. I think it's the coolest thing in the world. So for Capcom to do something like that, that's actually really dope. Now, from what I've been able to come up with, he has 2 more attacks. He has a charging attack where he will, it's very similar to like the Zenogre charge, where you know how Zenogre, he'll howl, not necessarily at the moon, but he'll howl to boost up his energy. This man will do the same thing. Now, I will not lie to you, there's no ill effects if you don't knock him out of it, but if you do knock him out of the charging attack, which he's doing right now, he can actually stumble over, and that stumble is a very hard knockdown. So if you do knock him out of it, his chest will explode, and then he's on the ground for a minute. Even longer than that if you were to topple the monster with the mount. And lastly, the wing slam is what I've called it. It's just where he'll, like I said before, he'll reach his wing out and like slam down with it. Not like the ground slam, but it's more like a slap. Like, let's say you take your hand and you just slap the desk that you're on or whatever, right? He'll do the same thing but with his wing. But guys, those are like all the attacks I've been able to come up with from this guy. I mean, he has a lot of attacks. He's a really original monster. I highly recommend you guys fight this guy. He's a lot of fun to hunt, okay? He is a lot of fun to hunt, okay? Really cool monster. Now, I gave you guys like all of his attacks. I actually wrote all these joints down, but we're not done. We're not done, not by a long shot. We still have time left in the video, and we still have lots more to talk about. So let's talk about the weaknesses to him. Well, his resistances, however. Now, he's only resistant to dragon. So I'm coming here with the Lao Lung Lance, which is probably a very bad idea. He has a higher resistance to dragon. He actually has a low resistance to practically everything else. So you can come here with any other element, and do significant damage to him. However, though, if you want to do the most, come here with fire, because it seems to be his greatest weakness. Okay, so with the resistances out the way, let's move over to the gear, because the gear is the most important part when it comes to monster hunting, alright? Well, let's talk about the armor real quick. His armor is exceptional. I mean, it's really good. I mean, I like it a lot. I'm currently using it right now, and it's a lot of fun to actually use, and you guys are really gonna love his unique skill. He has a skill unique to him. It's called Dragon Instinct or Dragon Aura. Now, when your HP falls below 2/3 or even lower than that, you gain Dragon Blight. Now, once you have Dragon Blight, however, it doesn't actually take away your element because you're wearing his armor and it's coming from the ability itself. You actually get an attack large bonus and plus 60. Hear me out. Yes, plus 60 resistance boost to all your resistances, meaning you're intangible. You will never catch on fire. You will never freeze over. You will never suffer from any blights ever again, so long as you have this equipped. Now, is this the truth? I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's good. It's really good. So that's his main ability. He also has what's known as Long-Winded. Now, what Long-Winded does is actually kind of cool. It took me a minute to actually understand it completely because it just reminded me of Marathon Runner, and it's not. What Long-Winded does is when dashing, your stamina gauge stops depleting but retains its current value. So let's say you're at red, right? Let's say you're at red stamina from blocking or whatever. You can run in red and your stamina gauge will not actually go down. So technically you can run infinitely. Okay, it's way better than Marathon Runner in some respects, because Marathon Runner does slowly deplete the stamina gauge for moves like the hammer charge and what have you, because the hammer charge is not covered under Long-Winded. So that's pretty cool to look at too. He also has attack and crisis. So if you guys don't remember what crisis does, is if you suffer from an abnormal effect, i.e. that Dragon Blight we was talking about, you get attack up large anyway. So you get attack up large from the Dragon Instinct or the Dragon Aura. You get attack up large from, well, he has attack medium. He has 17 points to attack, so if you just put in 3 more attack gems, you'll have attack large like as the actual skill on the armor. So you have attack up large from the attack up large, you have attack up large from crisis, you have attack up large from Dragon Instinct. I was able to get my greatsword at 386 attack for no freaking reason. Just by going with the blights and it's crazy. His armor is insane. So if you are a fan of attack, his armor is it for you, for sure, guys, for sure. Now the next thing I want to talk about is his weapons. His weapons are actually quite unique. His weapons are pretty interesting, truth be told, like really interesting. They only have two colors. There's red and then there's white. That is it. He has red and he has white. No green, No orange, no yellow, no blue, and sadly, no purple. But it's just red and white. It has a huge bar of red and a huge bar of white. Completely maxed out, it will be 50-50 red and 50% red, 50% white. So if you really are about that white sharpness, and you know white sharpness is a good sharpness to have, it's actually pretty good. It's really cool. The attack on those weapons are pretty solid. I mean, they're not really high, averaging out at about 300 or so. There's monsters, weapons who actually go up to about 380, with about 330, 320 being the same as the 220, 230 in generations. So look at it like that. Now the element is dragon, and the dragon is pretty fair, averaging out around like 45 or so. But actually, that's everything I got for you guys. I decided that I was going to give you guys as much information about the guys as I totally could. If anything, the tactics to fighting this guy is honestly just do your best. Watch out for everything that I pretty much told you guys to watch out for, which is literally every attack that I told you guys about. Because, I mean, fighting this guy is kind of hard. Like, truth be told, my first time around with this guy, I carded once, but I underestimated the guy. Never underestimate this guy, because you will pay the price for it. Okay, he will clap you for underestimating him. So go in here, be aware of all of his attacks. Okay, I gave you the entire list of attacks. Be aware of them, because he's one hell of a monster to actually fight. But everyone, with that being said, it's been your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your continued support. And even though this is a Japanese game, you guys are wondering like, yo Dak, when are we gonna get this in America? I actually don't know. But I will continue to support you guys, the Generation guys, because honestly, I'm not gonna sit here and make countless Monster Hunter Double Cross videos. I just want to cover the really unique monsters first, and then we'll go back to Generations content. So if you guys are actually wondering where that is, that's what I'm doing right now. But every now and then I'll sprinkle in some, you know, Double Cross stuff if you guys want to see it. But like I said before, it's been your boy. Again, thank you for watching, and may the Desire Sensor forever be in your favor. Take care, guys.